Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Putt.
Hello, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. It's Josh Poet. Thought I'd pop in and do one final wrap-up show for 2016. Couldn't let the year end without checking in one final time. So, as always, let's look at our cosmic weather, see what's going on today. Today we are at the 31st of the month. As we all know, it is New Year's Eve on the Gregorian calendar. Our sun sign is in Capricorn. Our moon sign is in Aquarius. Aquarius is a water sign. Aquarius is an air sign. It looks like a water sign with the squiggly lines right there, a couple of ways, but actually it is an air sign. So it shows us the idea of how air moves. Okay, how air moves. It moves like water. So when we hear the phrase and the ideas about the water moving and movements upon the water, we can get the idea how these energy forms are connected. And we really don't have any specific aspects we're dealing with today, but some of the things to take note of with this here, there's a lot of endings and a lot of beginnings that are taking place. So for example, the calendar here is a calendar, as we all know, that begins on a Sunday, and it ends on a Saturday. So with this particular year, we're ending, the last day of the week is going to be ending on the last day of the year, which means the first day of the new year is going to be ending on the first day of the new year. Over here at the Jewish calendar, we could see that this calendar is synced up. So it is also the 31st of the month, or the, here we go, it's synced up. It was all synced up here through Hanukkah. We're in the, almost to the end of Hanukkah here. And so we could see it's come out of the phase where up until the 29th, our dates were all the same. So we're in roughly the same cycle, beginning a new phase as well. The 8th day of Hanukkah is coming up there, and 8th would be the first day of the second week. So there's a lot of beginnings taking place here numerologically. It's quite interesting. We have the numerology for 2016 is number 9, whereas 2017 is a number 10, which you reduce down to a 1. So again, a sign of new beginnings taking place. So I think there's a lot of opportunity to really move forward. Of course, the big thing that's taking place is the people are stepping up here on the earth, and that's making all the difference in the world. The thing we need just to be aware of is not get caught up in the illusion of things that are going on in the conscious mind, okay? A lot of illusion playing itself out right now. A lot of those dark energies trying to influence others to remain ignorant with them. But as long as we keep shining the light on what's taking place in the world, then we're going to be seeing past the illusions. We're not going to be ignorant, and that's the problem for the powers that be. They expect us to be ignorant, but we're not remaining so. Okay, so we've got the 31st, moving on into the 1st. Sun sign in Capricorn, moon signs are going to continue to remain in Aquarius, water sign, air sign. The moon phase itself, we could see, is a waxing moon, meaning it's way up to the full moon, which will be on January 12th, 3:33 a.m. So we're just a little sliver, 6.5% of the way there. And of course, on the Jewish calendar here, we're coming to the end of Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, which, if you look at it, the Festival of Lights is going to be ending at the beginning of the new year, and the whole idea of the Festival of Lights is that the oil was purified. So now we have a new year starting off with fresh oil. So everything's purified. So again, there's a synchronicity. Life is showing us over and over and over again in many ways. And I'm sure if you look in your life for examples, you'll see the ways in which life is giving us a clean ending, giving us a fresh start. And we either recognize that or we don't. But it seems pretty evident that this is what is playing itself over and over. New opportunity, fresh start of things. Solar wind for today is currently at 499.7 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is quiet at the moment. It's going to remain that way over the course of this New Year's Eve. Coronal holes, though, are gathering around. We're probably going to feel the effect of those over the next couple of days. M-class flare possibilities at 1%. X-class also at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity looks like it's subsiding in the mid-latitudes, dropping down from 30 to 35 to 30, 25 to 15 in the mid-latitudes, high latitudes dropping as much from 50 down to 30. So there is quite a decrease in what's going on energetically out there. So as we move forth into this year, let's just be aware. Let's just be aware of the energies around us that can be illusionary, and let's just remember to keep shining the light on what we know to be true, and let's stand in our truth, stand in the light of information, and let's move past this ignorance, because this is there to trip us up, but this isn't real. This is an illusion. Okay? And when we allow ourselves to express the hopefulness within us, especially during this time of the year, because this is all about the returning of the light. Okay, there you have it. I'm going to jump ahead. We're going to skip, well, stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on here. So today, I just want to do a little bit of a wrap up as we move into the upcoming year. Done a lot of stories over the course of this year. Thank you very much for your contributions, the emails, text messages, Twitter messages, Facebook messages, so on and so forth. Really appreciate it because it helps to make the show more interactive. And there's some ideas and some things that we're going to be doing in 2017 to really kind of shake the show up a little bit, make a few changes to them. So those things are in the works. So over the course of this year, we've had quite an intense time, haven't we? It's an intense time not only in America, but throughout the world. And in America, it's been intense because of the changing of the guard. And we could still see this as playing itself out here. And we literally are having this battle take place that, in my opinion, is a battle that we can look at the book of Revelation as a script that's playing out. That we are currently in an Obama nation by the fact that it's a nation with a president named Obama, so therefore we are an abomination, and that the trumpets are about to sound, which are the announcement that God is reclaiming his rightful place within this land, and therefore the darkness is going to be dissipated because the light is returning. However, the darkness does not want to go, and so it's fighting back. And it's this multi-headed system, like a multi-headed beast. And I believe that Donald Trump is playing the role of Archangel Michael. And that energy is around him, and he's gathering his forces to be able to stand up against the darkness that's out there. Now, whether that's accurate or not, I don't know. But it seems to be playing out. And when I look at the story, one of the current places in the story is the beast knows that his time is short. Well, this is what's going on right now with Obama. He knows his time is short, so he's trying to do and create as much damage as possible. Why? Because he's been revealed. He's the Antichrist. He is the one who is of the religion that does not believe in the Christ. Therefore, by definition, he's the one who has been bringing them into the country more than anyone else, ushering them in. And he is now really showing his true colors because his time is short, his time in office. He knows that he could be caught. He could be held accountable for all of his crimes if he doesn't do something drastic. So we may see something drastic. Every year so far, at New Year's Eve, Obama has done something devious. He's done something secretive without the people really knowing, and then we find out after the fact. So don't be surprised. He's going to try something. We know it. We're just going to have to wait and see what kind of silly and stupidity he does. But this is a battle for good and evil, my friends, okay? We could get caught up real easy on the right or the left, but this is a battle of good and evil. Inherently, we know what's right and we know what's wrong. And we understand that we've gone off track, but we're so caught up in our side needing to win that we've lost sight of that. But something miraculous happened, again, in my opinion, and many people who have experienced this, because I've had a lot of conversations, but there was an outpouring of prayer, and there was an understanding and a calling out to God that occurred during this election cycle that has been noticeable. And it's been brought up to me in conversation on many occasions, which is surprising because usually I'm the one who brings that kind of stuff up. But it's been brought up to me on a number of occasions. So others are really seeing this out there and feeling this out there. And it makes all the difference in the world. So I think we have really a positive opportunity in front of us. I think we have a tremendous positive opportunity in front of us, and we just need to look at those opportunities. So that being said, we could take everything that we've learned over this year and let's look at it as a learning experience, and let's move forward now to take steps forward to make the changes we want. Make America Great Again was a slogan during the course of this year. But it's not a slogan anymore. Now it's a mission statement. Our mission statement is to make America great again. So the question is, what do you mean make it great again? Isn't it great now? In many ways we are great, but in many ways America has fallen from where it used to be. How many people travel these days and we go to the airport and then we get hassled by the TSA? That didn't always happen. There wasn't always all of the racial tensions to the extreme level they are now. There was a different prosperity in the land. We were higher on the educational standards within the world. So there was a lot more ways in which we as America were great. And when we as Americans are great and our country is great, you know what that allows us the opportunity to do? Help other countries. Because we can't really help somebody else if we ourselves are faltering. So in order for us to be the most helpful to the world, we have to help ourselves first. Just as individually, we have to go in and help ourselves, we have to collectively as a country help ourselves, and then we can help others. And I believe that's ultimately at the heart of everything that we want to do. You know, hopefully this year is going to bring to light the continued lies that the mainstream media has put forward. They really need to own up to a lot of what they have done this year, because they have really muddied the waters by their misrepresentation of the truth. And so there's a lot of people in the world, especially here in America, that are still parroting the same lies that they were told by the mainstream media. And unfortunately, they've never looked past those lies. So, you know, hopefully that will be corrected one day. But individually, we can all make a difference. We can all do something. So as we're going into this new year, as we're closing out 2016, a year 2016-9, moving into the next phase, 2017, a 10, or 1 plus 0, 1, we're beginning a new cycle. So with that beginning of the new cycle, it's good to contemplate what are the things we want to do? What are the things we've done? What are the things that we can take with us, and what new adventures? And so in order to kind of get us looking in that direction, I've brought up some information about goal setting. Just to kind of get you started here, goal setting involves the development of an action plan designed to motivate and guide a person or group towards a goal. Goal setting can be guided by goal setting criteria or rules, such as SMART criteria. Goal setting is a major component of personal development and management literature. Studies by Edwin Locke and his colleagues have shown that more specific and ambitious goals lead to more performance improvement than easy or general goals, as long as the person accepts the goal, has the ability to attain it, and does not have conflicting goals. There's a positive linear relationship. So why do I bring this to you? Because goal setting is nothing more than focusing our ideas. Every single person that is out there in this world has ideas. Every single person wants to try to accomplish some of those ideas. And the way we accomplish them is we focus our energy and intent. So that's really all it is. And here we are at a moment of time when we're actually doing a somewhat of a reset on our calendar. We're going from the end of a year to a beginning of a year. So this is a good time to do that reset, to check in. What have we done? What are we doing? Okay, so here's a site. I just did a Google search of goal setting, and I brought up a site, one of the first sites that came up there. This is a site called Mind Tools, and it has some really good goal setting videos here. It's got all kind of articles you can read. It says how to set a goal. First, consider what you want to achieve, then commit to it. Be SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Goals that motivate you, and write them down to make them feel tangible. Then plan the steps that you must take to realize your goal, and cross one off as you work through them. Okay. Why set goals? It says top-level athletes, successful business people, and achievers in all fields set goals. Setting goals gives you long-term vision and short-term motivation. It focuses your acquisition of knowledge, and it helps you by organizing your time and your resources so that you can make the most of your life. All right, I brought this other one up here. This is from success.com. They've got some great articles here. 4 tips for setting powerful goals. It says we have 2 choices. We can make a living or we can design our life. Here's how you do the latter. The most important benefit of setting goals isn't achieving your goal. It's what you do to the person and the person that you become in order to achieve your goal. That's the real benefit. Goal setting is powerful because it provides focus. It shapes our dreams. It gives us the ability to hone in the exact actions we need to perform to achieve everything we desire in life. Goals are great because they cause us to stretch and grow in ways that we might never have been able to before. In order to reach our goals, we must become better. So here's some of the things it says to evaluate and reflect. So, we want to take time to evaluate where we've been this past year. What have we done? Evaluate the things we're working on, the things we're doing. Take some time to reflect. And then you're going to take some time to define your dreams and your goals. And this is actually where you're going to get a piece of paper out, write some stuff down. Write things down, because when you write them down, they actually become a bit more tangible. Because you're literally taking the dream out of your head and putting it down on a piece of paper, starting that first process. Okay, then here, make your goals SMART. So you want to have specific goals so you know where you're going to go. It's like if you're going to get in a car and you're going to travel, you want to know your destination, not just random drive on the road. Unless that's what you want to do, then you do that. But you get specific with your goals, and then you give yourself a time frame when you're going to do it. And is the goal you're looking to do, is it something that is in the realm of things that can be done? Is it within the laws? Is it possible? You want to measure some things out. And then you get going with your goal here. Okay? The realistic part here. We have goals. We should shoot for the stars with our goals. And the last part of accountability here is make sure we hold ourselves accountable to accomplish the things that we set forth. If we set forth the goals and we don't do anything about them, then, then maybe we really didn't want to do them. But it's an opportunity to put us in the right direction. And one last thing here, I put together, I have a playlist here over at YouTube of goal setting. So I've made the link available with this show so that you can go just check it out. And you'll probably find more from here. There's tons of videos on YouTube and on the internet itself about goal setting, motivational videos, anything to kind of get you focused, because that's all we're looking to do. Focus our energy. We got a new year before us. We have a new opportunity. We have a new president. We have a president who wants to really help us move forward as a nation very positively. So let's just take all of this energy that's moving forward and let's just move with it, and let's just see what we can do for ourselves. Because we're so used to, as a nation, being mediocre, just kind of getting along. But imagine now we actually have a president that wants to tell us and is telling us that we can win. That's a big step for us. So let's go out there. Because winning means that we can help others more and we can do more for others. And I think that would be an awesome thing for America to really step up in that regard. So I think good opportunities before us. So take some time out. Traditionally, I've been doing the goal setting here on the show, and I'm not going to do that today. I wanted to bring forth the articles for you so you can sit down and do that. But sit down, take a piece of paper, and actually write out your goals. Write out the things you want to do personally, because there's personal goals. Write down goals you want to do for your professional life, your career goals. What do you want to do in life? And then write down some of the things you want to have in your life. And if there's a financial goal you have, write these things down. It helps to focus you. And believe me, it's all part of the big picture. Because all of us are here, none of us are here to be in lack. We're all here to prosper during this time of life in all ways. This is just focusing our energy to help us to do all of that. So there you have it. Now here's an article also just to kind of get your mind thinking a little bit here as you go into the new year. This is by Greg Prescott over at N5D. It says, what if everything you were taught was a lie? And with all the activities taking place in the world, this is a really good article to get you thinking about a lot of things as we move forward with all of the changes. There's a war going on right now, and it doesn't involve guns or the military-industrial complex. It's a war on consciousness, and most people are clueless that it even exists. Ultimately, the educational system can be blamed for feeding us propaganda and forcing us to regurgitate it so we can fit in with the rest of society. Our public school systems are set up to get the students primed for economic slavery without ever offering courses that allow students to think creatively or freely. If you trace all the companies who print our children's textbooks, you'll find a Zionist agenda behind all of them. For example, George W. Bush's grandfather, Prescott Bush, was arrested for funding both sides of World War II, yet we never learned this in school. Why? Because had we learned these things, neither Bush would have been elected president for having been a traitor in their lineage. Here's an article right here about that. It says, we are taught about Darwinism and how man evolved from ape, but if this were true, then why are there still apes? And surely Christopher Columbus didn't discover America. Granted, some things we learn in school are the truth, such as math, science, music, and some science, but our true history has been kept for us for reasons of subservience, control, and conformity. In all forms of education, there are still perpetual references to fossil fuels, including at college level. How ridiculous is this? Oil is abiotic, which means it replenishes itself, yet we are draining the planet of a lubricant that serves no other interest other than economic. For example, in late 1980, Stanley Meyer invented a car that could go from coast to coast on 21 gallons of gas. He was offered $1 billion from an automobile industry for his invention, but turned it down because he wanted this idea to go to the people. Shortly afterwards, he was poisoned to death, and the invention has been hidden from us ever since. Yet our children are not learning about such inventions as Meyer had in school, nor are they being encouraged to develop alternative fuel sources. Our children are inevitably asked, What do you want to be when you grow up? But their answers become conditional responses and various forms of economic subservience instead of what they truly would like to do. A better question to ask then, once you understand the concept of money, is if there was no such thing as money, then what would you do? What would you want to do with your life? Surely the fry cook with a high school education would not be still making french fries at the fast food restaurant. Recently, many websites have been accused by the website proper not of being fake news outlets for Russian propaganda, including this website in 5D. Any website that exposes the United States' tyrannical or oppressive agenda is most likely considered to be Russian propaganda because they are the websites that question everything. Because of the fake news agenda, the mainstream media has been scrutinized on a daily basis for the real news that they deliver. It becomes blatantly obvious that the mainstream media and the military-industrial complex are true propagandist conspirators. The following is proof on how propaganda is used against the people of the United States. And this is the amendment we've talked about here before, the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. This was Secretary and the Broadcasting Board of Governors are authorized to use funds appropriated or otherwise made available for public diplomacy information to provide for the preparation, the dissemination, and the use of information intended for foreign audiences abroad about the United States, its people, policies through press, publications, radio, motion pictures, internet, and other information media, including social and information centers. So basically, the new law gives sweeping powers to the United States Department and the Pentagon to push television, radio, newspaper, and social media onto the U.S. public. All right. It says, and continues on here, talking about the various programming that we get. I'm just going to skip through. It's a long article here. And we get to the end here. It says, so we've got all these lies, right? All the media, all the programming that goes on. It says, for those who watch too much TV each day you waste by doing is nothing. Better yourself is one day less you had an opportunity to grow in body, mind, and spirit. Instead of watching TV, spend time reading and researching material from the masters. You can find a large quantity of esoteric materials here. Instead of getting your news from the mainstream media, go to alternative news sites such as In5D Alternative News to get news that the mainstream media fails to report. Sadly, most people will fight for the same system that has kept us all economic slaves rather than to envision a world without money, government, or religion. Einstein is often quoted as saying, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. This is reminiscent of every election, as they always boil down to the lesser two evils, and you always end up with evil. If you look hard enough, you can always find the truth, but most people aren't willing to spend time doing so. These are the same people who are content watching 3 to 5 hours of TV every day. Ultimately, use your discernment when researching anything, including anything that's on this website. If your gut tells you there's something wrong, then chances are there's something wrong with what you read. You'll always be guided to find the answers, whether it is through personal experience or experience of others. Be open-minded about everything you read and watch when researching, and you will continue to follow your path of enlightenment. The war of consciousness will only go as far as you allow it to go. All right, that's very good, important saying. It will only go as far. We're all, our consciousness is, connected to us. So we're each in charge. We don't have to fall prey to all of these games that are going on. It's like with Obama. He tried to do this, I guess some sort of mind trick to Putin. Tried to trick Putin. He didn't fall for it. And so that's kind of how it is. We don't have to fall for the tricks that are out there. We know the tricks. Ultimately, this is a battle of good versus evil. We can easily get caught up in all of the characters on both sides of the fence that are out there in the world. We can get caught up in those personalities. But being caught up in them sometimes takes us away from seeing the bigger picture. I say that there's a bigger picture out there for all of us to see, and if we really pay attention more, we'll see that bigger picture. And I really challenge us individually and as a country and as a world to look for the bigger picture, because I think we have tremendous opportunity in front of us right now. For all of our lives, we have dealt with a system that has been in place, controlled by the Federal Reserve, controlled by those with outside interests, controlled by a whole, group of individuals who had the USA moving in one direction. And something shifted. Donald Trump is not part of that inside group. He is bringing something different. This is like what we have wanted for such a long, long opportunity. So let's not be so willing to jump back into the cage just because it feels uncomfortable. This is an opportunity for us to move forward past all of the lies and the corruptions. So let's all do our part. Let's think about how we can do that in 2017. Because it's not just about Donald Trump, it's about each one of us. He's going to be busy enough as is. We all have to do our part. And our part is finding out how to make America great in our neck of the woods. How to do that by starting with ourselves. Just making the changes we need to. So there you have it. That's kind of the wrap up of the whole year of where we're at. We just need to kind of accept all the changes. There's going to be some important changes ahead. We may not always like them, but I think they're necessary. I think they're part of this mix because we were so off track in many ways. It's all going to be okay. We just have to keep breathing. We just have to move through it. We just have to stay focused on God. Stay focused on the God force that is flowing in our lives. All right? All right, so. Go ahead and close your eyes. Close your eyes and do a meditation for today. Take a deep breath and exhale. And another breath and exhale. Now let's imagine that we are on a path. And just ahead of us, we see the finish line. And we look behind us and we see the long, long distance that we've traveled over the course of this year. And we think back to all of the things that we've done. We think back to the person we were when this year started. And we think to who we are now as this year is coming to an end. And we look forward at the journey ahead of us and see there are still a few steps. And so we continue on, taking with us all of our experiences and just contemplating as we take this last few steps to complete this yearly journey. And imagine ourselves now sitting there, having crossed this finish line, thinking about the journey ahead. Just imagine ourselves sitting down in celebration, taking time out to celebrate what we've accomplished. Let's imagine the celebration comes to an end. We focus in on what it is we want to do. We open the door and we walk and re-enter the path of life, beginning anew. So let's just imagine ourselves walking down this path of life into the future, with all of our hopes and our dreams, stepping forth with positivity and love, that we might create for ourselves a prosperous and abundant year, and that prosperous and abundance translates from each and every one of us to the entire country and out to all of the other countries in the world. Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, thank you for the blessings of this year. Thank you for the blessings of opportunity that we have all had to learn, to grow, to love, to share. We thank you for the blessings of the Christ light that shines in our lives, and the opportunity each and every day to allow it, the opportunity to shine undimmed. And we pray that our future moments may be those where we're able to make tremendous positive changes in our lives by letting go of all of the things that have held us back. So let's imagine ourselves continue on this journey, continuing along the path into the future, 2017. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. All right, my friends, that is it. Thank you so much for being here throughout the entire year. We've got new ideas, new things for 2017, so please continue to stick around. You can find me at Facebook. You can find me at Twitter. Twitter, it's First Contact Now. Otherwise, firstcontactradio@yahoo.com is how you can get an email to me. And, of course, firstcontactradio.com is the home website. So that's it. Thank you so much. Have an awesome New Year's Eve and a fantastic, wonderful 2017. Till then, I love you. Keep loving each other. Have a safe night. Talk to you next year. Peace. I'm out of here.